Guess I don't need to read this about
Warm.
Jack.
I had a jacket. It's warm though. I'll take it off. It's just a little warm. What's happening? We live. How you folks feeling? Okay. Get it out. Get it out.
All right, what's going on? Welcome to the Facts
And feelings.
Happy Hour. I am Fiya Angelou, and I have my lovely co-host, friend, sister, and everything with me. Tell the people who you are.
Big Meech, not the little one. You know, the highest. Numero uno.
Wow, the highest of the highest?
I say so.
Hey, and what the fuck else matters? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel good to be back here on this microphone with you. How you been? What's going
It's been a while, I feel like, huh?
And on the microphone, I mean, I think we talked about daily. We haven't talked in a while though.
Yeah.
It's been mostly text messages.
Yeah. I can talk to you in a minute. See your face. Lay eyes on you, as your grandma said. Lay eyes on you.
Let's start off with where we can tell the people where to find us on the socials of medias.
They can find me anywhere you do your thing at Metchie Davis. That's METCHIE Davis on all platforms, really.
Okay, and I am Fiya Angelou, FIYAANGELOU on Instagram, and we got a TikTok, the Facts and Feelings Happy Hour podcast, longest podcast name ever. We have a TikTok. You can find us there. I'm on TikTok, but it's normally just tagged to the podcast TikTok. And I'm not sure. Let me ask you this, because you put me on Threads. Yeah. Should we be on Twitter? Are people still using Twitter?
They went back, the people say. They say the people went back. Like we was using Threads for a while. We tried it out, and then it went back to X or Twitter or whatever.
Yeah. So do you tweet or do you thread?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't do either as much as I should.
Gotcha.
I'm old. I'm on Instagram doing things.
Yeah. So anyway, if you're on Twitter, I'm Fiya Angelou there. And then I think that's about everywhere they can find us. You can email us. We're very happy to have your emails where you got a question you want to ask your cousins. You can email us at facts.feelings.pod@gmail. Again, that's facts.feelings.pod@gmail. And you can follow us on YouTube, and we're going to have the link below for you to join the Discord. So you have many ways that you can engage with us, because we everywhere.
Everywhere you want to be.
Yeah. So what's been going on with you? How was your week? How was your weekend? What'd you get into?
Man, I relaxed this week, actually, this weekend.
What you got on? You got a little cat hair on your tongue?
Nah, a little nutmeg. So this is what I'm telling you about my drink.
Glad you came in with that meg.
This is called a Christmas Carol.
Okay.
And it is called that because it's eggnog, right? But instead of using rum to spike it, we use yak. So it's singing a little bit to me. You feel me? So I call that thing a Christmas Carol because it's given.
Everybody used brandy and cognac.
You're supposed to use spiced rum. You ever seen spiced rum? Yeah. You're supposed to spike it with spiced rum. But
interesting. Well, okay, we're going to the drinks. I'm not drinking in these days. I'm fasting alcohol. But what I was going to give is eggnog's Spanish cousin, coquito.
Oh, yeah. That's always nice.
I'm go over that. But I know rum goes in coquito. But in my culture, in my upbringing, what goes in eggnog is yak or a brandy. So
I always put it in mine.
Huh. Fascinating. And you thought you were kind of deviating because you're saying eggnog calls for rum.
It does. And I made it in front of somebody. It was like, "Ooh, you putting yak in eggnog?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's how you spike it."
Man, you would have blended in with my family.
Yeah, right on in. But apparently, spiced rum is how you spice it.
Yeah, interesting. So
I just have a homeboy named Coquito. Shout out Coquito.
You got a homeboy named Coquito? Wow. Well, in my culture, my upbringing, brandy goes in eggnog and rum goes in coquito. So here's the recipe for coquito. Because again, I'm not drinking, but I want to give you all the tools, the kit that you need to get your libations on. So first you're going to need a can of cream of coconut. Okay. Or coconut milk, but cream of coconut is going to give you that consistency that you're looking for.
Yeah.
I almost want to say that coquito could be a dairy-free option, but according to this recipe, you need 2 cans of evaporated milk. I myself cannot fuck with eggnog, nor coquito, for this reason, because I, like most Negroes, am lactose intolerante, and I can't fuck with it unless I'm gonna take some lactate pills or whatever. But anyway, back to this recipe. 2 cans of the cream of coconut, 2 cans of evaporated milk. Add yourself some rum in there. Like Metchie said, you can give yourself some spice rum, or you could just take it up a notch like I do and go with that nephew and raised, right? You know what it looked like. It's the yellow and green bottle, okay?
It is
100 proof, overproof rum. This also says 1 large egg yolk. Now, I'm not gonna knock these people culture, but I don't put no raw eggs in no shit I'm drinking. So grind you up some cinnamon, some vanilla extract. If you got some vanilla beans, if you can find some vanilla beans, put them motherfuckers in there. That take it up a notch. A little nutmeg, and then serve it with a little cinnamon stick. So again, it's just eggnog's Puerto Rican cousin, and so it's just right there.
Sound good to me. I love it.
And shout out to Metchie's homeboy, Coquito.
Shout out Coquito. I don't know where he is in the world right now. I said used to have homeboy in the high school.
Oh, used to. Well, God bless him if he's doing good things with his life. Now,
I do hope so. It's good.
What you been up to this week? What's popping?
Honestly, nothing. I relaxed. It's everything and nothing at all. It's really been busy. Trying to get shit together for Christmas. Put up decorations for the outside. I think just been cool and trying to, just wind things down and center myself before we close this year out. Honestly.
And what you got to get together for Christmas?
What you mean? Gifts,
like
presents?
Gifts,
I'm hosting Christmas at my house, so I'm just people's presents.
Oh, you're doing it again. You did Thanksgiving at your house, and now you're doing Christmas. That was by default.
So Christmas was always. I'm big on holidays. I am, but Christmas was always going to be at my house. I have a sister. You know that. Shout out Mel. She was supposed to host Thanksgiving, and Mel did something what we call here in the Black community reneged, and it put the family up in like, well, where we gonna go? It was her turn, and so I was like, because I am my sister's keeper, I was like, I got it. We can just spin real quick, pivot, and y'all can come here. So I ended up having to double up. So,
gotcha. I hosted Thanksgiving at my house, and this is the 2nd year in a row that I have done that. And I said, no mas. Like, we
no more? That's it?
Shan't be doing it.
Man.
I mean, for a while. I mean,
Did it go wrong?
No, it's just fucking exhausting. Man, again, now, money helps everything. So if I had money to pay a cleaning service pre and post, easy peasy, right? Because then all I got to do is focus on just having a good time. But when I'm cooking and my wife and I are cleaning the house in preparation, now, of course, I say this all the time, we don't live like slobs. So it's not like we got
everybody know that's
but you want to get in the nooks and crannies, and then the post cleaning, because I love my family, but people come in with all kinds of stuff energetically and shit on their shoes. I'm a shoes off in the house kind of people, but I didn't do that this year for Thanksgiving. And so, I'm looking at track marks on the floor and I'm like, oh, now I got a mop, you know what I mean? With my Florida water and just cleanse all that shit out. And I have just said no more. And this year I had put it out to my family, who wants to host it, you know what I mean? And it was crickets in that motherfucker. But I think it has been acknowledged that I am the person in the family trying to pull the family together. Like Big Mama said, a bunch of fingers pointing to blame ain't gonna do a lick of good, but you ball all them fingers together and you can strike a mighty blow. Now this family got to be that fist.
That's what she said.
That's what she said. So that's what I've been trying to do, but it's gonna have to be at someone else's house.
Yeah.
That's just what I do know. So I commend you for getting that together. Now, I did see on the Instagrams that you, like myself, did go see the Renaissance film. Man, and what a blessed occasion it was to go see it on the day before the actual opening. I felt VIP. I don't know how it happened, but I ended up there on the 30th. And I love being an early arriver to some shit. I love being one of the first to have some shit. I'm a first to have. I don't care if that shit is the prototype. If screws still falling out of it, if I'm the first person to have it and I can put you on to it, it just lights up my day. So yeah, I went to go see the Renaissance film, and I want to get your thoughts. What did you think about it? What did you leave? What did it put on your spirit?
Let me say this. If you went to see it, I don't care who you are. You can be one of those for whatever reason that you made up in your mind. Some people are just contrary. If you want to be a contrary, I'm just not a Beyonce fan. Whatever. There's no way in no way in hell you left that film uninspired in some way, shape, or form. It was you just have to be inspired. That's exactly how I left. Even just during it, it's like, dang, we don't often get to see, beyond, like, these films are typically her humanizing herself from the super person that the media makes her out to be. And so I was just cracking up because it really does go far. Like, obviously we all know Beyonce is this person just like everybody else, but the queens in my theater were just oohing and awing, and I was cracking up when they got to that scene where she had been said that she had surgery on her leg. They were like, oh my God, can you believe that? Can you just, now look, see, we never even knew that. Just like, of course we did. She didn't say, and look at her, she practicing. Oh my God, how could she? Like, how great is she? How great is she? I'm just like, yo, you know how many athletes on a daily push through injury?
How amazing.
And how it made, like, look at this. Did y'all see that? Her knee. When they showed those stitches, that was like, oh my God. But it really was funny. And it spoke so much to a lot of things. Just really the ambiguity, or just because Beyonce just don't tell anything. Like, that in and of itself just sells. Like the mystery that she is just like, I want to go to see what business, we could get.
Yeah.
And it just really is great. But just the fact that production took 4 years, that was like the most thing. And it's just like, yo, things can take time, even for the greatest of the great. Like, to be great, things take time. So if I had to leave with a one-liner, for me, it would have been that. Like, great things take time.
Yeah. I cannot tell you, probably at least my wife and I went to go see it last Thursday, and she has reminded me, let me say that, at least 4 times. It took Beyonce 4 years to build Renaissance. And, we got to be able to be patient, and we got to be able to put in that work. And she was like, and it's just grind time. It doesn't mean that just because you're not seeing it right now doesn't mean that it's not greatness on the way. Beyonce took 4 years. And think about all the people that she has on her team, and it still took her 4 years. And I'm like, that's right.
With all of the money in the world.
Yeah.
She has all of the money in the world, to be quite frank. As far as we go. It took that.
Yeah, absolutely. But I don't know if I have one thing. I always am inspired and just puts a fire under my ass by her work ethic. Yeah. Like, I would go back and watch Coachella on Netflix because just to see and that wasn't even as much narrative as you got in like Renaissance, but to like see the attention to detail that she put into things, and just the unrelenting work ethic that she has. Now, of course, one of the things that I have learned is that always comes at a cost, right? And so it's like, I always have to keep in my mind that I can be a racehorse in the way that Beyonce is, and going, but I don't always have the privilege in my life to take extended periods of rest, right? Like, in between that, I'm not going to Cannes, right? To chill in after my tour, or after I've been
nice though. Ooh, it was nice.
Wouldn't it be nice? But I was just so inspired. I loved like the part with Blue, and her dancing, and Amari like kind of coaching her up and stuff like that. But when Beyonce said, the first time that Blue hit the stage, she said, "This my bloodline,"
They know it
different. Had I heard it? Of course I've heard it. I love, unlike many of y'all, I love Black is King. I will watch Black is King and Coachella for inspiration, and I will absolutely be buying Renaissance when it is released, because I have World Tour, and I said I was going to go back and watch that, the one where she was like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I go back and watch that. But I'm always just inspired, lights of fire under my ass, to just continue to put in the work. But it was just great. It was great.
To me, it also brought into perspective. We feel this way every time, right? She dropped something. Like we felt this way when Black is King dropped. We felt this way, like you said, when Coachella was like, oh. It also brought into perspective for me that to a degree, you really are what you consume. Like we consume a lot of bullshit on the day to day, and it can have an undertaking on how we start to, view life or our outlooks. Like I feel like what happened from the time that we were inspired when we saw Black is King to now, right? Because it's not a different inspiration. That work ethic was the same. The times it took a while for Coachella too. Remember she said that, but not the 4 years. But she was like, it's the same thing, but like you can keep these kinds of things. Like just imagine if you watch something like that every day for a year, as opposed to a lot, the space of just the bullshit. Like I've been reading, like literally in the last couple months, read a few books, and I'm just like, man, I got to start, because I can kind of get through them. And I'm just like, I should probably do this more. Like let that take the places like socials and shit. And I feel like obviously, we do this and I have my own social platform. So you have to try to be present on it just for the algorithm's sake. But most of the time it's such bullshit. And I'm like, imagine what we can do. And I was also, also caught a little tea when she was like Blue's first performance, when she got the social media feedback and Blue didn't like it. And I was cracking up because I was like, ooh, Beyonce, you be on Instagram because you be acting like you don't. You get on there and post them little fucking Super 8 Polaroid pictures. But bitch, you be saying what people be saying. Also, when she found that dancer, I was like, girl, you be on there.
Oh, yeah. Because, see, she had said, first she said Blue's friend saw the comments and showed Blue. But then, Beyonce, say she saw them. I was like, I knew you was be. I knew
girl, you be honestly enough, being quiet. You a troll, low-key, probably.
But it was really good.
It was good.
It was really good. It was refreshing. But to your point, and I'm trying to figure out if this is something I'm going to talk about now. But I think I have thought too about the amount of time that I have spent or spend on social media, and I just keep having the persistent thought. And I think I've said it on the show before, but I know, or something just calls from my soul that says I would be much happier if I was absent of looking to my left and right at what my peers are doing. Like would I be then satisfied with my life if I wasn't comparing to people who don't even know that I'm comparing myself to them, who I'm using as a benchmark, and who put them there other than myself? And so I too have I'm actually off social media right now. And I just said, my own pages be damned. My business page be damned, because I, for my own mental well-being, cannot take it. And I have decided to, I normally spend a lot of time watching television or like TV or whatever, or movies and whatever. But I have decided to cut that out and then just read, right? So my wife and I are reading a book together. And then what I used to love to watch every Sunday was Masterclass on OWN. And just watching anybody be diligent in their craft. That's what I was looking forward to the most when I went to the Renaissance concert. Looking at all of these people, stage, dancers, lights, do something and be diligent in whatever they have chosen as their craft. So I normally am really inspired by that. Right. And so that's one of the things that I'm trying to get back into for the very reason that you said. Yeah. So that was just Renaissance. Over the past week, I don't think I've done a lot or anything that's like worth mentioning on here. But just trying to, protect my righteous mind. That's what I'm trying to do. I want to say anybody that I have been trying to complete some Veterans Affairs paperwork. And let me tell you something. The way that I got about 25 pages of documents right now that I need to get signed by this person and this person and this person, and then get sent off and to wait, a month and a half minimum for this to be processed. I just think, what if I didn't have a computer? What if I didn't have someone in my life who does this work with the veterans, for a living, works in the Veteran Affairs office for a living. What if I didn't have access to that? And I just think about how much of these systems in this shit fuck of a country are just inaccessible.
Yep.
Like this, it is crazy that there's like, okay, fill out the application, but then it's like in the fine print, if this, then that, then you got to add this addendum, then add that, and then add that, and don't forget to send this documentation and this documentation. And it's like, y'all don't want people to get this. You don't want people to get the assistance. That's
not.
what it is. We don't want you to do it. But anyway, I feel like that has been consuming my life. And
yeah, I hate that. Yeah, it's definitely hard. What else have I done? I did actually recently. So, just for perspective, in case somebody could need this little revelation, this touch out. I did recently this week. I lost my great aunt. If you've been rocking with me long enough, then you would know I dropped a cookbook some time ago, and I dedicated that cookbook to her. And I lost her this week, and in losing her, I thought so much about a couple of things. And this may sound cliche or whatever, but giving people their flowers. I've said this before, I believe, on the podcast, but I accept or deal with death and dying, maybe different or better, I don't know, or just maybe different than most, because I really do have a good grasp on, how I treat people, like how I show up. I feel like I do my best, and we all fall short, of course, but I do my best for the people that I, that I really, really fuck with. No, like they know it, so that if I kind of live my life in a way that if I lose anybody tomorrow, I'm okay with, God forbid, but I'm okay. I don't have anything left on the table. Like I gave you everything that I had to give. And so I kind of made peace with it. And it was also kind of dawned on me how, like, when you think about, cause she was older. And when you think about like saying that, I feel like sometimes we can process life in a way that when someone's old, like she was 88. So you think about that almost instantly, you kind of feel like, oh, okay, like old, and you think maybe even like feeble or decrepit or like, oh, she was on her, but it just was crazy because that wasn't the case. Like she was very much live and well about her wits. And so though you can kind of process like, oh, well, she was, old, it's just still one of those things that we didn't see coming. I just talked to her, and I know everybody says that, but I really did. Making my dressing. That's where my dressing recipe comes from. And, and you just didn't see it. And so it's a plethora of things, of course, that common Black people, not taking care of yourself, eating the foods that we eat, like, and then it obviously just piles up. She had a fall. And of course, if you're not well, you don't heal well at that age. So, but yeah, I say that to say we are getting there. I'm blessed also because it's one of those things where it got to happen at some point. I'm blessed enough. I'm 40. I'm 35. But, in that age, 35 years old. I know adding that 5 just wasn't unnecessary. But I'm going to say I'm almost 40. Almost 40. I'm 35 years old. And I'm just now starting to experience these things. You know what I mean? Like losing people. I've grown up like big age. I just lost my grandparent. One of my grandparents. And so it's like one of those things where it's bittersweet, like eventually, I've known people that, lost siblings and parents at young ages, like as in middle school. So it's one of those things where, like I said, it's a blessing to have had her and everybody, honestly, my entire life almost. So I'm just now starting to lose those people, and it brings those things into perspective. But love on your folks. Say all that to say that. Love on your folks. Don't be the person that got to fall in the casket. Because now, oh God, I should have came home. I should have went back. I should have called. You don't be the person that got to do that. Love on your folks. Because that's sometimes all it takes. Phone, text message, call. Tell somebody you love them.
Let me tell you something. A little dark humor. I am the one that will fall in that casket.
Here you go.
And
there you go.
My knees always tend to buckle right there. I don't like to go view the body. But if people make me walk down that line, I am always the person that's going to get a little faint up there. And somebody needs to be holding me. Somebody with good sense, because it goes out the window for me. I don't want to view the
What
body.
happens, you think?
Number one, Michelle don't deal with death well. Okay. Michelle in her righteous mind tonight. If we talk about death too much longer, I'm gonna be up in the middle of the night like, oh Lord,
let's
I'm
move
gonna
on.
die.
Let's move on. I know that you fall out.
I got coping mechanisms. It is what it is. So
You
I know
scream and holler too?
yes.
Oh.
No, so like I was saying, I don't like that. I don't like it. Some people can find a peace in it and they'll just say, oh, didn't I die? And that is not me. I'm like, and then what the fuck? What happens then? And then what is everybody else here doing? And do I see them? Do they see me? And all this, it spirals. Where am I going? Is it just lights out in this motherfucker?
Hell, if you ain't careful.
It is definitely going to happen. And then people just be living their life like they just not gonna die any second now. But anyway, so it's that. And then when I'm grieving, it's never about did this person know that I love them. It's just very selfish. Like they not here no more. And where the fuck are they? In a very childlike way. And I promise you this is true. My mind just can't comprehend it. I feel like one day, I don't know how this happened. I accidentally called my mama's number. She's still in my favorites. And I thought, if this bitch answer the phone, it's fucking over. And like sometimes I'll see like somebody that looks like my uncle at the store, and I'd be like, Junior, I know you're fucking, because in my mind, it's like, you know what I mean? Like, what if I just go to another place and I just see them? I go to visit, I don't know, Seattle. And my mama walking around picking up some oatmeal pies. I'm like, you think this a fucking game?
As herself or like reincarnated?
Her fucking self. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, again, very childlike. Like, where did they go? I don't know. I did that they in the ground. And that's probably why I don't want to see the body. The worst thing, again, dark humor. This is not meant to trigger anybody, but I know I'm on the other side of some healing. The worst thing that stupid lady at the funeral home could tell me to do was to touch my mother's hand. Why?
Oh, that felt like that was a lot.
Why would you? And she said it like I was going to be comforted.
No, you know what?
I was not.
Nah, I promise you, I promise you, I think that funeral homes and funeral directors have to have a level of showmanship. I promise you. And I feel like they make you do shit or say shit or enact shit that will enact emotion for come get our funeral home services. We'll get you there. You know what I mean? Like, and I feel like they do shit and say shit because why would they ever have you touch her hand? Like, what for what? Like, it was never, that hand don't feel like her hand. And then you're already going through. I've seen them do stuff. I've seen them we added just at the very end, a surprise video of them holding hands as a child. And they didn't know, like, what were you doing? Why did you do that? Why? Like, what needed it? And I feel like that'll get her. That'll get her to do fucking what? And they do it often. I promise you. I think it's a part of it. I think it's a showmanship.
I'm sitting up there. This is at the wake or whatever, and I'm sitting up there like far back. I know what everything looked like. I picked out a dress and an earring. I know what she got on. I gave you the stuff. I don't need to see it. So I'm just looking at other people. And then they was like, go on up there, Shell. Go on up there. And I was like, no.
It's production, man.
No. And then,
oh my God. So I am so sorry that you had to go through that.
Touched her hand and I'm thinking, I was like, oh my God.
Yes, it feels nothing. It feels.
Yeah,
I am so sorry.
I'm wiping it off. I was wiping it. And I went to my brother. I was like, why did they?
Oh, did you see it? I am so sorry.
Like it was cold and
it's hard.
And that for maybe because what it did say to me is that ain't my mama right. Is gone. This is fanfare that we're doing because that was not okay.
Yeah, for that reason, I don't want to be buried. But yeah.
Adding to what you just said. So we're about to again, trigger warning. We're about to walk into the service, and I don't know where I am. I'm on all kinds of medicines. I think I had took one of my mom's like Ativans. So I'm basically future in that motherfucker. And so I'm standing there, and of course I'm in the front of the line, and I'm like, oh God, I'm like, when is this gonna be over? I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. And the funeral director said, hey, and she says, you come with me. She's like, because I can see it on you right now. You gonna cut up in here. And she was like, so we gonna have you walk in to see your mama first. Now again, I am a pass out motherfucker.
Oh my God.
This is why I'm on all these medicines, all these sedatives.
I can imagine a mom is different too. So it's just, that's like ultimate. If he was ever going to be a pass out.
Up there. So other people are in the church, but the processional hadn't happened. So this is like pre. And so I walk up there, and of course I lost it. All I know is I almost passed out, and somebody had to hold me. And I didn't figure out till a year later it was my line sister, because she saw me probably up there, weaving and falling. And so I was like, yeah, get me the fuck out of here. But why did lady say that? I think it is for that show. It's, and then they love release them fucking birds and say some shit here in Atlanta. If y'all have ever if you lost somebody and you went to Willie Watkins, this is who buried my mother, Willie Watkins Funeral Home. And they got shout out to Willie Watkins. But Willie Watkins, when my grandma passed, they had a fucking saxophonist and a trumpeter. No, trumpet was at my uncle's funeral. Saxophone was for my grandma. So at the end, he playing Amazing Grace on the saxophone, and he blowing it down. And I was like, wow, they doing that slow walk out the church. I said, okay, this feels like something else. But give us what we paid for, because I know we
shout out Willie Watkins. Seems like y'all use them often. That's y'all go to.
Yeah. That's who I trust. Willie Watkins Funeral Home. And now his daughter run it. They gave out some turkeys, this year. I trust Willie Watkins. There's a few other ones, but Anyway, here we are, 30 minutes into the show.
Let's go. Let's keep it moving. We ain't even did.
Have you made arrangements while we're here? Have you made arrangements for yourself?
For my funeral?
Yeah.
It will most certainly. I hope you don't have to attend. It'll be a fucking production. You hear me? Because I'm just a showman myself. I'll actually be doing my own. The pastor can say a few words. Self-taped. Don't worry about it. That's just going to be a production. Do you hear me? They ain't even going to know. If somebody else is going to be responsible for going in there, putting in the thumb drop, and press play. And I got it fucking covered from there. And it's going to be some shit. You hear me?
Tape recording? It's in a tape
It's a video recording. Yeah. Laptop, whatever you on it, press play. You can use 2 fingers, 1 finger, whatever device you have, press play. It's going to come up. And don't you worry about it. I got it. I got it from there.
Wow.
If you better hope you're not in my shit, because I'm going to actually now that I know this about you, I have to go make an addendum to that, because I need to say something to you if you get in there cutting up in my shit, just in case.
What I want to say to y'all is that people used to be members of a church, and if you were a member of a church, that's where you could have your funeral. But a lot of people don't belong to churches, so I don't know where you new age people are being buried at, or who's doing your service. But I just wonder, I'm like, I keep saying I need to make my arrangements, because now, unfortunately, I don't have any parents to bury me anymore. So it would be my wife who would be making the decisions. But I used to wonder if I was
why are you assuming that she's going to have to bury you?
You think?
Why did you just make that assumption right there, that your wife is going to bury you? My wife will make all my decisions when I'm dead. How do you know that?
Well, I'm 7 years older than her. And so, I mean, by that logic. But.
Well, all right, continue on.
What's going to keep me up at night is thinking about one of us motherfuckers died. Don't send me down.
All right, let's go.
I'm talking this in the abstract. What I'm saying is, I used to wonder if I had died young, what they was going to bury me in. And if I was like a tomboy, and my mama put me in like a nice daisy dress, I'd be pissed off. Y'all better
shoulder pads. That's in my shit. I will whoop somebody's ass. It's in my thing. I'm not going to be buried, though. And if somebody decided, because that's a part of my recording, I specifically asked to either be cremated. Now they got this new shit where I might be a tree. But if I say that, because it's gonna be down and hard, it's gonna be hard writing that if I'm up this motherfucker laid out, somebody's getting cussed out, and I'm coming back to shake fucking cabinets. I'm gonna scare you off the face of this fucking earth, bitch. I'm gonna come back and rattle all your shit. Blinds, you ain't gonna get no peace. Cause don't put me in. What the fuck you gonna have me in? Shoulder pads up to here, huh?
My cousin,
lipstick red.
God rest her soul. They wanted to put her
pointed.
And she was a stud. And we was like, we gotta dress her like the stud that she was. Do you know that they came and retwisted her locks? Like a loctician do that stuff post-mortem?
People do that.
I didn't know.
Why would you ever have her funeral and her head toe up? Get your hair done, get your makeup done.
I didn't know. I didn't
put
know
on a suit jacket. Was she white? You know, like suit jackets. Sometimes studs just like big white tees. I'm out of it. All I know is, let's keep it moving. We need did you put on? We still at the top. We 30 minutes in. Let's go. We got to breeze through this thing. We keep it in. Oh, you want me to do my put on?
I'm gonna save mine for next week. What's your put on?
I'm doing my put on. My put on as we are approaching, Christmas.
I'm looking at the wrong. Okay, keep going.
Mine is get creative. This Christmas. And that's really just long and short. Ladies, fellas, people, kids, everybody going alike. Allow some grace. Niggas don't have no money.
They don't.
Like inflation is just real. And when I say like folks just don't have no money, the things that you used to be able to get, it just ain't, folks may do okay. They will have an okay Christmas for me this year, but I just don't know how many more I have in me. If I'm being perfect, if shit keeps going this way, I'm just not. Like I'm just not. My nephew sent his Christmas list, and I just was like, "Is this shit your vision board?" Did you mean to send me this one? Like, did you have two that you like? Are you rolling simultaneous with this shit? And I even got to the point, and I was just like, I don't know if you can get some of this shit if you don't believe in Santa Claus. And the nigga was like, I do.
Oh.
I believe in it wholeheartedly.
I believe in whatever you want me to believe
whatever fuck you need me to believe in. I believe in that. Somebody coming in this drum.
What
his list, we can even let's just review this list. He got this is a couple of things on here. He's very considerate in his list. He has, and if you can't, I completely understand. Okay. He got off the top of the list. He has AirPod Pro Maxes.
Wow. Oh, the 500.
The top of the tops, the 500 joints.
Okay.
Off-white dunks. He wears a size 10.5. Almost 11.
Off-white ones? He can't just get no regular dunks?
Off-white dunks is on the list. This nigga said, vape anything. You don't even, that's how you know. He don't even care. He just want the brand. They had the nerve to text me, Auntie, do you know what vape is?
Bathing ape?
Yeah, like I just got here. Do you know what vape is? Nigga, what? Do you know what the fuck it is? Do you have vape money?
Enough to know when vape went out of style because they kept making it.
It came back apparently. I'm old enough to know when if you had that bullshit on, you was looking crazy. If you had that fucking astronaut monkey across your fucking chest.
Yeah,
vape was that.
Teddy bear monkey, whatever thing that was.
That nigga said, vape anything, zip up jackets, t-shirts, shoes, whatever you can get.
Oh, wait. Oh, those the types of vapes. So vape,
anything vape, anything he would accept. Oh. I'll just anything that you could get, anything with that shit on it. I suppose. Yeezy slides, Kappa slides. You ever seen You ever seen the Kappa where it look like somebody's legs? Yeah. That's on there. A gaming monitor, a new one because he already has one. Something 120 frames per second. That's what he need. Birkenstocks, the boy won't. Spider or Spy-Fi, I don't know what this is. Spider hoodie or Spader. It's SP with a 5. DER. Maybe that's a new brand. I don't know. Money. Any and all this. Any of this money can be. And stacked sweats. He pretty much just want to look like a little rapper.
Them last two things, I don't know what those are.
Stacked Spader hoodies. And Essentials hoodies. Also, he want that on there. Essential hoodies. Essential Fear of God hoodies.
If my phone would tell me it need to update one more fucking time, I don't care what you do. Now, let me look up this Spider.
But yeah.
Spider.
SP5. Then DER like it. But the point is, you know, shit is getting high. You bitches out here wanting to, like some Christmases ago, these designer shoes and bags that was on the list. I feel like Lil Wayne what's on the list? Who on the list? I don't know if that, you know.
You know these spider hoodies cost.
I never looked at it. What it say? What it say?
They cost $155.
Mm-hmm.
One of them on here. Then what I'm telling you is the sale price, because full price.
Why you fixing them glasses like that? Why you had to readjust?
$507, $397,
Mm-hmm.
$300. This is why they wear hoodies all day, because they cost $400.
Wait, I got more tea for you. I say,
Fucking spider.
that, you know, who else? I said something to reference the list. This man said, I said, make sure you put pictures of some of these things so grandma, you know, people can know what it is. You the only person with this list. Everybody else, I just asked for money. How the fuck did I get so special that I got the whole list?
Okay.
How come I couldn't just do a monetary contribution? You the only person with this list. Who the fuck? Who am I?
He know who
I'm
you
not
are.
the same. I'm not that auntie. I'm not.
Yes, you are. Yes,
These kids are crazy. These kids really think we rich. That nigga said, like I was supposed to be proud. Like I was supposed to be like, oh, I got that exclusive on the list. You the only person with this. Nigga, pass this shit out. Don't worry about it. I won't be. I'm the only one with the list. Who else on the list? Gucci made it. I thought he would have been. Your mama didn't make the list. I thought she would have been first. I thought he was number one. Who else? Your dad? Your dad didn't make the list. Listen, all I'm saying is it's something. So y'all give some grace. Get creative. Accept gifts when they always from the heart. Accept some shit from the heart this year. I mean, you know, with respect to what you know niggas could do, but
yeah. I listened to a podcast. I listened to another podcast, and they were saying people had like wrote questions in, and it was like, you know, when you are the rich cousin, are you expected to buy everybody a gift? And thankfully, I'm not that person in my family. The person who I think would be the rich cousin, it might be a tie for two of them, and one don't come around. So, you know, we never have to worry about that. And the other one, I ain't never asked him for nothing, but you know,
I might need to become the ghostly rich cousin, I suppose. I don't have to come around. You don't even fucking like us.
That is crazy. Well,
then I'm hosting, so I do random gifts, you know, just for games and door prizes. This is for my family. When I say I'm hosting Christmas, I mean for my immediate family also, not for the extended.
Yeah.
So I got them color purple tickets also. I'm very excited about that. I'm gonna put that shit on and get it. Yeah, I bought everybody tickets. Go to the movies. We're gonna do that. We have some good time. But it's the presents.
Yeah. I did have one put on. I just saw it on TikTok as a little cooking hack, and I used it for Thanksgiving when I made my sweet potato pies 2 times. Also, just to fill you in, the second pies I threw them away still. But either way, what you do is you cut the potatoes around the equator of the potatoes, right? You just cut it, you know, run a knife all around it, you know, kind of give it like a little midriff, and then you boil them, and then all you gotta do is just pull it off. And I did that, and it was miraculous. You do it for sweet potatoes, regular potatoes. I'll put the TikTok link in the below in the description, and then we'll put it on the Instagram. But I did not know that. And, you know, as a chef, I see that you knew this already.
Well, you know, to be perfectly honest, I don't. But when I boil potatoes anyway, literally, if you just pull, like the skin just comes off.
Yeah. But this is like one pull action. I'm gonna send you the video.
Okay. I hear what you're saying.
But
you're not. So you're scoring, or you actually cut them in half, or you just scoring around it?
That's the word I was looking for. Scoring it.
Okay.
Yep. You do not too deep. You ain't trying to cut it in half. Just score it.
Break that skin. Okay.
And you just pull 1, pull 2. You're done.
Say less. Okay. Sounds good.
Now let's get into people just be saying shit.
Because they do.
And I'm gonna start off with one, and you know, so there was a round table discussion on YouTube or whatever. I'm sure some podcast about how to be a man or whatever. And
I saw it.
Saucy Santana was, you know, speaking. I didn't watch the full interview because I didn't have an issue with what Saucy Santana said. So the people be saying shit is always what you people be saying in the comments. So Saucy Santana went through great lengths to explain to y'all that he did not want to have a gay son, and immediately qualified and said why, and you know, just was very careful with his words, not because he was trying to be careful, because he wanted to make sure that he made the point. And so, you know, he was like, I just don't want my son to be gay. And he was like, and another guy was like, oh, because you want your son to have a better life. And he was like, well, I wouldn't say better, because I don't think anything's wrong with my life. And he was like, you know, different. Somebody was like, you different than you. He's like, well, not necessarily different, because I don't think I'm any different than any other man. And then they end up getting to the point where, you know, they helped him walk to the idea of the world has not changed enough for Saucy Santana to feel that his child will be safe and loved if he was gay, because he knows what his child, what he has gone through. Somebody said in the comments, and it just got a lot of likes, and I thought, oh, people are so confused. Someone said, quote, why is it okay for him to say this when a straight person would say it is homophobic, but he get to say it and it's okay? Someone help me understand. And I don't think it's a far cry to understand why. I think the context is right there, right? The context as to, I don't want my child, my son, to be gay, and because of the world that we live in, and how the world is not accepting of gay Black men or gay people or LGBTQ identified people in general. That's it, right? A lot of times, many times, any other platform, the barbershop, when you're getting your oil changed, you're getting your tires rotated, and you hear a Black man typically say, I don't want to have a gay son. A lot of times, not all the time, but a lot of times,
most times,
yeah, I just don't want no gay ass son. That's soft shit. I don't want no son taking dick in the booty and all this other stuff. It's always some shit like that. It's not about, you know, there are some loving fathers who are like, I just don't think that, you know, they might say, if somebody bully my child for being gay, now I got to go to jail, right? There are some men who are like, I don't want that, because I don't want to deal with having to defend my child, because I'm going to end up in prison, because I love my child regardless of who they are, who they love. Most of the time, that's not what people are saying. They're saying it because of reasons tied to homophobia and sexism. And so that's why.
That comment. That's what the comment was tied to. How come I can't say I don't want no gay son? If you can say it.
When I don't want no gay son either. How come he can say it?
I watched that interview, and I want the world to do better. And I'm talking about, I'm doing it myself. Like, I'm actively doing it myself, and I plan to take 2024 by fucking storm with it. But we are failing as a society because people don't understand how to actively listen. Because quiet as kept, even when he said it. He didn't need an explanation. He said it before he could even get his thought out good. DeVal countered with, is it some self-hate there, you think? Yeah, and he was like, no, not at all. Right. Like, I love myself. But he didn't say anything that would lend to that. And granted, again, I'm also, you know, proponent for allowing people to self-correct. And he ended up being like, oh, okay, I see what you're saying. But had you just listened, he literally said, the world isn't safe enough. I would fear for my child's safety if I had a gay son. And he said, but don't you think that's some self-hate? How? How the fuck does that have to do with anything?
That is
like, nah, he was like, oh, you just feel like the world. So it's fine, but it's just like, if you could just listen. If you could just listen without listening to respond. I know people hear this all the time, and everybody's a therapist and everybody's a clinician, but it's just like that. The basics of stuff, just listen. Yeah. Just listen. And granted, Saucy said some other shit in other times. that he, when he has kids, he don't want to be no punk. He gonna try to get a wife, in which it's still funny, all funny stuff, whatever. But yeah, like, if I'm actively saying here that I don't want a gay son, because any parent in this world will fear for their children's safety for a multitude of reasons. So if he's feeling like, I just don't want that to be it, because I know what it's like firsthand. Like, and I just happen to be a big nigga that can fight. But what if he isn't? What if he's small? What if he's quiet? What if he's not loud and, you know, boisterous like me? And this world is crazy. And, you know, I don't want my child to have to deal with that. And y'all took that and ran with it. When I say I don't want no gay fun, then it's just like, no.
Right.
For reasons that you're a fucking asshole and a bigot. But
basically. And to your point, I think people have the listening skills of like children. Nothing annoys me more in any teaching setting where I am going over the instructions and someone shoots their hands up before I can even get through the. I'm like, put your hand down. I can almost assure you that your question will be answered when
just
I
wait.
finish. By the time I finish my instruction, if you just put your hand down, or when you're having a conversation with somebody and you can tell that they have stopped listening to you and now they're just waiting for you to shut up so they can ask you the thing that they want to ask you because they done jumped to a conclusion. And it's like, oh, so you didn't hear anything I said after that thing, that moment popped up in your head.
And I watched you. You have that shut off.
I saw you do it. I saw you just started waiting for me to finish talking because you're exactly right. DeVal did do that. And so did the other guy. And it was like, no. It what may be well-intentioned, right? The idea is that, oh, I'm familiar with this. I know that other people have made comments like that because they have internalized self-hate. They haven't truly accepted themselves. And so, is that what you're saying, Saucy? And he was like, quite the contrary. I love myself and I love being gay. That's not what I'm saying. Other guy, you want better for him, right? The quality of life. No. If everybody simmer down.
If everybody could just listen to me.
I'm going to make my point. If you would just listen and then we can respond from there.
Yeah.
But so I just
you might not even have a fucking response if you just listen.
Say it again.
I wish more people understood that you may not have a response if you just listen.
If you would just listen.
Like if you really would. And I feel like it comes, everybody's rooted from something. It's always something, but it's almost just like, you have, you ever join like a work call or something, or even an interview, you do a group interview and they tell you, make sure you say something, you know what I mean? So you can be seen. You ever had that happen where it's just like, it's going to be a lot of people in there. How are you going to stand out?
Yep.
And it's almost just like if you go into anything with that mindset, it's just like, I'm going to go in here and no matter what, I'm going to ask these 3 questions because I'm going to stand out. So as soon as she starts explaining the directions, I'm going to say, and I hate it. Somebody always raise their hands. You might get to this, but then fucking what? Why not just wait until I get to it? You may have already said this, but what happened? What happened when I did say that? I actually did already say it. What were you doing when I fucking said it?
I did say it.
Cheryl. So crazy, Cheryl. I said that shit twice. Both times I saw you fucking talking. Okay, well, go ahead.
I hate that shit. I hate it. Number one, I hate being talked at. And in my experience, and it's basically that's when someone is just talking and they don't need you to chime in at all. And I will tell you 98% of the time, it's men that do that. I'm like, do you even need me here? Like you are giving a series of, like you're giving a rehearsed speech for how you introduce yourself. And at no point, I'm like I'm chiming in to ask you follow-up questions and you can't even hear me because you still talking about the shit you talking about. And I'm like, oh, what, hello? Oh, yeah, what? I'm like, what were you doing? I've been a human sitting here talking to you the whole time and you're just talking at me. There's no I cannot stand that shit. And the moment I learned how much posturing people do, is I get like on a podcast, that's all posturing. But in like meetings where people just want to be recognized for something, and I just had a mentor tell me, Michelle, the best thing you can do is realize you don't need to tell everybody everything you know. Because a lot of times people say stuff and I'm like, ooh, I'm going to say this. And then I could be the most brilliant person in the room. And I have to always ask myself, why are you joining the conversation to speak? Is it really because you think what you have to say is going to add value to the conversation or clarify something? Or are you trying to be seen? If you're about to say something, Michelle, because you want to be seen, keep your motherfucking hand down. Get that validation somewhere else. You do not need these attaboys from people in the room. And so since then, that have really helped me balance how often I'm chiming in and how often I'm shutting the fuck up.
Because two things can be true at once. You could also be, if somebody's delivering some wrong ass shit to a group that I can.
That's you need to speak up.
Yeah, that's it. But it can also simultaneously be like, yeah, I'm about to shut this motherfucker down when I say this also. Because,
well, yeah. But I think your primary intention has to be to clarify
correct.
something or to
Correct.
add new information. If
Okay.
you're not adding, because I can't stand let me
Just
just
to
piggyback off of what she
yeah.
said.
Woo!
She said it. And unless you're trying to get your shine on.
Let me tell you something. Y'all backs wouldn't be so big if y'all won't piggy in so much. All these fucking, I gotta unbig my best. Stop fucking piggybacking, bitch. Yeah, and I couldn't agree more. And to piggyback off of that, why? I made the point.
Hey,
You don't gotta piggyback.
hey,
It's okay.
the meeting is running long already. We don't need everybody to piggyback. If you need to get some kind of praise or affirmation from our supervisor, do that one-on-one.
That's a new t-shirt. Remember, we got t-shirts every episode. Stop. You can unbig that back if you stop fucking piggybacking, bitch.
That's
okay.
it. That needs to be a sticker, a t-shirt, a hoodie. I like it. Bookmark right. That. Bam.
Boom. I got it.
So what you got for your people just be saying shit?
We keeping it moving. I'm leaving mine. Yep. Leaving mine for the next one. That's enough. People just be saying shit. If it ain't one thing, it's another. Jump into that. And what you got? This one might be all yours too, because this is a big one. We may take the time for this.
I mean, I just feel like it would be irresponsible if we did not talk about.
I'm ready.
I'm
ready.
Yeah, if we did not talk about Sean Combs. And so trigger warning for rape and sexual assault and domestic violence. If you do not care to engage in this types of conversation or hear about it, now would be the time for you to step away and come on back for the next segment. Just keep fast forward until you hear we done talking about it. Take care of yourself. But, wow, what the holy fuck, what? And the fact that, okay, so I don't think anybody that listens to the show has been living under the rock and don't know what's happening and what's being talked about. If you don't, just know that Cassie filed a civil suit against Sean Combs, just alleging just a decade plus of emotional abuse, rape, sexual assault, domestic violence, controlling, violent pressure, like against her. And I just don't know how some people rationalize stuff, but I just don't. I'm like, okay, so we done with Diddy, right? Like we're done. Like we're done with this. We're done now. Because I'm not, we talked about this before. I'm not a person that's like, oh, well, we just gotta step in the name of love. We just must do it. I'm not that person. I think, and when I've been looking at pictures recently, let's say when Diddy did the Carisha Please interview, and just really after Kim passed, I mean, he just looks kind of dark. Like, I would say like over smoked, right? Like I always describe people who look like they just smoke too much weed and he just don't, he don't have that shine.
Burnt out.
Yeah, he kind of looks like God damn. And I think whatever they be having going on the inside, that shit starts to seep up. And he looks to me, I ain't gonna hold you. He looks like death. Like it look like he don't put on lip gloss or nothing no more. He just look washed out, like bad. And apparently he's been washed out bad, just torn asunder on the inside for a while. Like I read, somebody had copy and paste a segment of the report of the case, the court filings, and I was like, yeesh. And then today I decided to take myself into the abyss and read through the whole document and just wow, like bringing in sex workers. And I'm not going to go into the homophobic thing that y'all are doing of male sex workers, but I mean, I think that is significant. Controlling her nail paint color, wanted it to be white so it can contrast against the dark skin, male sex workers that he had coming in. I mean, beating her, like punching her in the face, punching her in the body, stomping on her head, on top of the rape and the sexual abuse and the drugs, and making her carry his gun as a form of intimidation. And it's just like, what the fuck do we do now with this? And he stepped down as the chairman of Revolt. And since then, There have been 2 more people that have come out, and I just think, like most people are saying, it is fascinating that no one's like, no, he couldn't have done this.
That's
Like
all. That's my only point.
I don't see anybody saying no. And I mean, obviously, the paying of the civil suit and the swiftness in which he did it.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? So you know, what are your thoughts? Where are you with? And I will say, I did read a piece about your boy, Jamie Foxx, and his engagement with this. And I'm like, God almighty, do we just, you know what I mean? For me, sexual assault, rape, domestic violence, those are hard stops. There are some things that I think obviously you can rebound from. You know, and it's like, because I still have a hard time with Chris Brown. And it's like, I know I respect his artistry and things like that. He was a child, she was a child, but it's been a while, right? But I just feel like the way that Diddy was doing Cassie, this wasn't an isolated, you know, I blew up, I had an adult temper tantrum and it went way too fucking far and I hurt somebody I love and I'm deeply apologetic about it. This is, I'm beating your ass in private and then I'm sending you to a hotel to recover and rest up, and I'm sending my doctors over to you so that you don't have to be seen in public. And then when you piss me off again, I'm gonna do it again, and I'm gonna do it again for 10 years. But what are you thinking? What are your thoughts?
I have so many. I feel like, so the first thing I did want to tackle was that whole, you know, everybody, why is Cassie asking for money? It's just a money grab and blah, 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 blah. And I wanted to just debunk that shit of when there's a civil suit, that's what it's for. You sue for damages, either emotionally, mentally, or whatever. So we can just kind of nip all that. Oh, why you waited, all that. We don't do that. So that's what you sue for. She settled because, mind you, the swiftness of the settlement, of course, is because she did it a very smart way and went after the company itself. To which they're like, we're not doing this. We're not. She didn't sue Diddy. She sued the company itself as an employee. And they were like, yeah, we're not doing this, because what it would end up happening is if that media coverage carries too long, or if they're found, you know, guilty, they won't be able to be insured after that. So it's like, yeah, you're not going to take the company down. It's bigger than you at this point. Pay her what she's asking for, especially if she, you know, if there's any of that, any tape, any recording, any video that she may have taken, if there's any truth to this, we're not about to do this. But that character witness portion, baby.
She did name him. It's Sean Combs, Bad Boy Entertainment, Bad Boy Records, Epic Records, Combs Enterprises, and Doe Corps.
Everything. She named all of that. So it's not just him. So it's almost just like, removed of that. I'm not giving you nothing. Oh, yes, the fuck you are. You're going to give her whatever she's asking for and probably then some. And what I will say, though, is that character witness portion that's what is important here. You can damn everything else. Y'all can be in the comments fighting for Diddy all y'all want to. Man, Diddy this. Women gonna try to do this. If they try to take a black man down. There are people. We all know it's Diddy. We know who's worked closely with him. We've seen it with our own eyes. And everybody's quiet. Y'all talking about all this black man down and black man tearing apart. And people just want to see. That's fine. How come nobody close to him is saying that? Why you think Mary not speaking out? Why you think I don't know, any of these groups he's worked with, 112, anybody, not even the groups, people he's worked directly with. Like I know this man.
Farnsworth,
even if, and just bringing this into perspective, guilty as they come, but at least Bill Cosby lived the kind of life where there were some people who can say, maybe, but I didn't know him as this.
Yeah.
Like there were people that came out that said, I'm not trying to discredit and what anybody's reality is, but I only knew him as this person because at least he had enough wherewithal to have two faces, I suppose. You know, philanthropic side where it's just like, I've only ever dealt with him in this light. Almost anybody you've touched is like, yeah, probably, likely. Even the people that were only here for a short time, there are people that just been to Diddy parties, people that, you know, made it and they were only had their 15 minutes of fame. But if they encountered him, they were like, yeah, when I met him, I only met him. I only knew him for an hour, but yeah. And it's just like when you don't have nobody. Like to not have any character witnesses is like the reddest of the flag. It's ringing the alarm kind of thing. Like there is nobody, no other multi-millionaires that want to be like, I know this man as a bit. I've done business with him. This is not that guy. Nobody's saying that shit. Everybody like, man, damn, I hate they getting my boy. And that shit is saying something.
That's the part that's so insidious too, because that means like, you know, like there are people, she's saying there are people that saw this happening, not just his assistants, his bodyguards. There were people that knew this was going on.
Usually
and I
though.
cannot imagine the despair that one would feel when people know, because when people don't know, when things are happening in secret, that's one thing, because you're like, I bet if they motherfucking knew, they would fucking help me. But when you know people know, and they're not doing anything because of who he is.
To all you naysayers, why would she wait? Why wouldn't she say something? Who would? It's Diddy. Are you crazy? Like he's done worse for less. Like who am I? Like I'm not even. It's not even like
motherfucking car.
I'm not Mary speaking out. Like I'm not my own entity. My entire image is associated with him. I only exist because he is. You get what I mean? Like somebody say, who is Cassie? What do you think somebody's going to say? With that, could you say anything without saying his name? Absolutely not. Diddy girlfriend, Diddy whatever. The artist Diddy sign is Diddy. Did he do it?
Stupid.
See what I did there? All I know is not having a character witness, like just even the smallest, says something, or somebody not even wanting to. Maybe they could, but like, child, I can't risk my brand for how true that may be. Like, it ain't enough weight for me to be like, I put my name on the line to say that this man is a good man. Good man, Savannah. No. Said nobody ever. And you've known a lot of people. When Lil' Kim came out and said that when she was in jail, that he didn't write her, didn't come and see her. And she described him as like her best friend. And she was like, it just hurt me because they didn't even lay eyes on me. Like, how you don't want to know that I'm okay in here? I'm in prison, nigga. How you know I'm not getting beat up every day? You don't care? And she was like, he didn't come, didn't write, didn't call, didn't even send a friend of a friend to lay eyes on her. And I'm just like, child.
And people always show themselves. You remember when Diddy beat up the coaches from UCLA for chastising his son or something?
Really? I don't remember that.
His the one who now everybody's saying is not his son. The one who really don't look like, the one looked like Al B. Shore, just like creepily.
That's his son though.
No.
That's Al B. Shore's son.
Yeah, that's Al B. Shore's son. That's what I'm saying. Then there's that other light skinned one.
So there's Justin, which is definitely his son. There's Quincy.
And there's this one. The one I'm talking about.
Okay.
Is his name not Justin? What's the one?
No, Justin looks just like him. Justin is the one that's Diddy Jr.
The one who was doing.
Oh no, it is Justin. King Combs is his other son.
Who?
Justin is the one that's the other light skinned one that don't look like him.
Yeah,
what son they saying it is?
Like him?
King.
Oh, that's his name. Oh, right. Who did they say? They showed a picture. Diddy's bodyguard from that time. And they showed a picture of that man, and I said, now, okay. Huh. But
I have to put that, I'm gonna have to drop that here. Put a little.
Yeah. I'm gonna find it because for a minute when all this Diddy stuff was going on, all these Diddy conspiracy videos was just flooding my TikTok. I had to start hitting not interested because they were coming in such rapid succession. But anyway, he went, that boy was at UCLA playing football, and Diddy, all I remember is Diddy ran into the coaches to the locker room and beat the coach's ass. And everybody was like, that's a father right there. But nobody was like, man, that was totally out of character. And just listening, just reading what was said here. And then, whatever fiasco with Jennifer Lopez when she knew she had to go back to dating Hispanic men. I was like, yeah, none of this stuff is unfounded. And what the fuck? Do we stop listening to his music? Is it just stuff with just his voice?
I'm about to say that would be nuanced. Diddy's music is really everything. I mean, I just feel like you can go to the things that he's directly involved. You might stop by in Ciroc, some shit like that, some things that are definitely his. But I mean, what do we do? If it's produced by Bad Boy, we not listening. But we gonna hurt a whole lot of people. Mary probably like,
I mean, I said that we reach.
Yeah, it's a reach. It's a reach to be honest.
Dirty
But
Money. You still listening to Diddy Dirty Money?
That's a group.
I know, but it got he
yeah. I mean, I don't know. I feel like I said, it can be nuanced. Again, it was almost just like when you fuck with Kirk Franklin, like he's inserted himself in so many other people's. Like, I mean, what the fuck did they do? Like Don Richards, like I love Don. So it's like, damn, you're not fucking with me no more because him. Like I'm on this song, I'm singing the best I can. So it can be nuanced, but again, I feel like in which ways. You know what I mean? Like I'm sure I don't know if Ciroc will take a dive or not, but again, I always use him for an example because as much as an asshole as he is, you know how I feel about when there's smoke, there's fire. But I love, as much as a dick he is, I love the way that 50 Cent moves and behaves because he's been saying it. He's been saying it. He's been calling it. It's never been a thing of, there are people, and it goes to show you too about making a name for yourself and putting yourself in position. He's in position where he can talk shit about Diddy. Like a lot of people aren't. Where it's just like, I don't say nothing about him. You know what I mean? Like it's the he who shall not be named. For fear of my career. And 50 Cent's like, yeah, for that nigga ain't do shit to me. You know what I mean? I got my own fucking career here. And he does the weird shit. I've been over there. He tried to do it with me. So it's almost just like, and someone who, same thing with R. Kelly. Like he went going in. You know what I mean? Like, damn, yeah, you doing this type of shit. You doing this type of shit. And you be hard pressed to make yourself so visible talking shit if you are laying in a dirty bed almost. And so that's why I like 50 Cent so much. You got a lot of, most people that do are quiet. You got them same kind of notice when it was quiet on the set when that R. Kelly shit was going on. Niggas was sweating bullets because they all are. The industry itself was just riddled with fucking pedophilia, low key. You know what I mean? It's just that it was just the industry. We didn't know. So niggas got quiet. Real quiet. But when it's not a life you live, I can talk shit all day. I've been told you think this was weird. You know what I mean? Like I've been told y'all stop going over there to that boy parties. So I don't know. It's just the fact that he didn't have, and I was waiting. I'm like, all right, it's Diddy. The same way everybody's scared to say something. You know what I mean? Like people are gonna come to your rescue if you didn't do this. If this not your life. Only people come to his rescue is the strangers in the comments.
I can't defend you if it's true. Yeah. I can't. What I look like?
I'm about to get drugged right in.
I'm about to perjure myself for shit. And I just feel like where I think it gets dicey now, of course, is considering that all these things are true, right? Mm-hmm. I just want Carisha to be okay. I want Carisha to have gotten her money, and if she so chooses, be able to step away. Because what's her name? What's that lady name who sang that song? Who be talking all that shit on TikTok now?
Tasha.
Weird. Who?
You said who? Somebody talking shit?
Yeah, she was a singer with Jay-Z, and now she just be talking shit on the internet. What is that lady's name?
Oh, I didn't know she was a singer.
Jaguar.
Yeah, I didn't know she was a singer. Is that what she was? Is that what she was?
She sang on Jay-Z's
She do be talking shit though. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, on Jay-Z's Unplugged, she did the "Ain't No Love in the Heart." Okay. Gotcha. But anyway, so she was singing Jaguar Wright. Let her tell it.
She got the tea.
Motherfuckers out, okay? He be taking these motherfuckers out. She was like, Kim, no. They said that was poison, and then they went back. Yeah, whatever. I'll be sure got sick. Andre Harrell dead, heart-related issue. She was like, he be taking motherfuckers out. And I just want Carisha to be okay. Have fun.
I think she's fine. Another person cried on the set though, but it's just like it was Diddy or nothing not long ago. But I'm sure her manager is probably like, hey, get yourself as far away as you can from that right now.
I'm gonna say you gotta start doing that slow exit, because if all this stuff is true, it ain't as easy as I stopped answering his phone call.
Oh yeah, not at all.
Because you got access. So in terms of how do you leave when somebody's bona fide fucking crazy? Hey, slowly. You got to exact your means. You got to just
calculate it and slowly.
Yeah, I would get pregnant by somebody else. You know what I mean? I would just
I
leave
hope
me
that one,
be.
and I hope she won't try. She might have been in the trying. Ooh, that would have been the worst fumble of the year. Imagine having access to get pregnant by Diddy, and you got like that's the plan, and then it's just like, man, what are the odds? As soon as I get here, that a nigga, that a nigga time up. Now it's card up. Yeah, I don't know, man. Whatever
Yeah,
deal he made with the devil is come due. And
yeah. So, but anyway, that's where we at. Sad, dark times. And I just want to say this for anybody who's thinking like, oh, the money, the money, the money. If you have ever been intimate with someone, man or woman, like if you are a man or a woman, if you've been intimate with a woman who is a survivor of sexual assault or a survivor of rape, you know that the impact of this is, and for those of you who haven't, the impact of this is life changing, life altering. It changes not only the way you think about intimacy, it changes the way you interact in intimate
right.
settings, even if you're with the person that you love, because you've been violent. And I can't imagine this type of sexual violence for 10 years. And so, no, the money won't fix everything or whatever, but it is a way of being held accountable without
Hmm.
having to drag herself through the courts and have people attest to this, and to see him and to have that power that he yields, and him try to be charismatic in the courthouse. And you know what this motherfucker did to you. So just before you go speaking out your mouth about something, and just think about the lasting consequences for years that someone that was raped or sexually assaulted is carrying with them. And just, again, the people that have been in intimate settings with someone who's a survivor of sexual assault, they know, right? They know what it's like to deal with that and to encounter that and try to love someone through just what is one of the most heinous crimes you can ever imagine, right? So
If you can
can't
though,
just shut the fuck up.
honestly, if you're a guy, if you're a person out there, the best way you can do this thing and navigate this thing is to think that right now, there is a woman in your life who wants to confide in you. And because of
Yep.
the shit that you put out, the shit that you wrote, the comments that you had, she changed her mind.
Mm-hmm.
Because I would never write this long, blah, blah, blah. Like you have to be conscious of that. You have to know that. Like there is someone around you that's watching you. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I wonder how he's going to handle this. What is he going to be brave? Is he going to stand up to the other guy saying this? Like, will he champion me? Is he my safe place? And you niggas, more and more women too. Can you believe it's women? It's a lot of women. Ugh, more women than I could ever imagine. But whatever. Are in the comments like, yeah, this me. There need to be a law. She shouldn't be able to. Like, come on, man.
Who are you
And there
caping
is.
for that?
New York is. Did you read that they're implementing that statute of limitations now, which is why people
Was
are coming out.
Oh, yeah,
New
yeah,
York
yeah.
just implemented this year makes the end of December of this year makes the last month that victims and survivors for the certain time span can
You had
come
to
forward.
file by November 25th,
Yeah.
but I remember
Mm-hmm.
reading that you had to file by
Yep, you
November
did.
25th. Because
And
there were all these people that have been victims of, or had these crimes perpetuated against them, and you may not be able to safely say something right in the moment.
you can't.
Uh,
Come on, boy, it's
but
Diddy. Are you nuts? Who can say something?
right, right.
But
Where do we go from here? You
where
got
do
one?
no, we spent on that one. That was a good one. We can move on to
I
the
feel like I'm running the
physics.
show. I'm running the
Yeah.
show. Got a
This
big
is you.
fat.
We spent a lot in the beginning, so I paused mine for the next one, so we won't
All
have a
right,
2 hour
all
long
right, all
episode.
right. Well, this is the Fire Show, people. Continuing on with the Fire Show, with Metchie support. I want to talk to you all about something that we call Nigrescence. Nigrescence. Nigrescence, the theory of Nigrescence, the process of Nigrescence is all tied to Black identity development, right? Thinking about, when did you become acutely aware of your Blackness? Where are you in your Black identity today? Where might you be in 5 years? Have you left your Blackness? Are you becoming Black right now? And there's a theory here, which is William Cross's theory of Nigrescence. I got a little text message over our break to start referencing things in more detail. So this will be cited in the episode description on both the podcast platforms and YouTube. But the theory of Nigrescence is basically the idea, the process, the study of the progression of Black identity. So don't look at this as a fixed finite point on a timeline. Look at it like a circle. Okay? So the first step of this theory of Nigrescence, and I had the pleasure of meeting Dr. William Cross. He coined this theory in the year 1971. 1971. And the first step of this process is called the pre-encounter. Now, I want to take a step back here and talk about why this even came to mind. Well, I am finding it difficult for me to engage with people who are in the beginning part of the immersion phase of this, which is the idea of I'm Black, I'm blackety black, I'm black, black, black. I don't give a shit about nothing else but Black. I'm having a hard time engaging with people who are in that phase of their identity development because I'm not there. I've been there and I'm on the other side of it now. So now let's go into the stages. The first stage is pre-encounter. And I'm asking you,
Okay.
when did you come into your Blackness, right? And there might be multiple periods of times because, again, it's a cycle. So the first step is pre-encounter. That's basically you living your life and, you see yourself like everybody else, right? There's not a moment that makes you feel that, oh, my race is salient for me. I'm any different than anybody else. You're just, what they call in a race neutral state of being, right? Where you're like, I judge myself by my merits, right? And then there's an encounter, right? An encounter is normally precipitated by something that happened, right? You come into the encounter phase. Some people's encounter phase might be, depending on your age, when George Floyd was murdered, right? Other people's encounter I think I had an encounter moment when Sandra Bland was killed, Trayvon Martin, or you might have gone from a mostly white high school to a historically Black college, or you might have been the only Black person in the office and you became acutely aware. Whatever it is, the moment that helped you say, whoa, I'm Black, they see me as Black, what the fuck? Typically, you move out of encounter. Encounter has another part, which is personalized, which is what do you do with it, right? What do you do with that encounter? Then you get into the immersion phase. This is where I have a hard time with some folks. So it says during this stage, Black people will begin to shed their old worldview and construct a new frame of reference within the information that they now have about race. Right? That might mean you might move to a more Black city. You might start to get involved with the NAACP or whatever, or you might choose to go to an HBCU. And it says this phase is constantly energized by rage at white people and culture. And there's guilt about having once been tricked into thinking that things were race neutral. And then there's a developing sense of pride in one's Black self and Black people and Black culture, right? And then the next phase, which is where I am, is internalization and commitment. So it says Black people begin to shed the poor self-worth and move towards embracing a positive Black self-definition. This is where we have the ultimate transformation taking place when someone achieves a healthy racial identity. I will say to you all that if you're a person who be like, man, you meet somebody and you got a coworker and you be like, I mean, I could be cool with her, but she white. I don't fuck with no white people. That is not a healthy, balanced, racialized identity. If you like a show and you can't watch a television show because there's too many white people on it, and you be like, this would be funny, but it's too many white people and I can't get with this shit. I never leave outside of 285 because that's when I see too many fucking white people. And I can't stand it. Or not even just white people. You can't engage and have a healthy conversation with someone who's Asian, someone who's Jewish, someone
They
who
everywhere.
yeah, because you have recently come into your blackness and you can't fuck with nobody else who ain't black. You people are getting on my motherfucking nerves. I cannot.
They're in abundance right now too.
So, all right, I want to ask you. Let's say, what's your
interview me? I'm liking this.
Yeah, what's your earliest encounter, right, of this theory of Nigrescence? What's the earliest time you can remember? Holy shit, I'm
black. So it's really difficult. Because maybe the encounter thing is more prominent. But I was told it, to be perfectly honest. My parents were in the military, and so I spent the first 3 years of elementary school abroad, and went to school in Germany.
Okay.
And my kindergarten teacher was black. It was Miss Walker. She was amazing. But I was the only black girl in kindergarten. Babe me, no, never mind. But I've always been myself. And so I remember her pulling me to the side. So I was very smart still, great grades, but that whole, she's very smart, pleasure to have in class, but disruptive or whatever it is. And I remember her pulling me to the side and being like, you cannot act like this. And me being like, bitch. So she was just like, you cannot. She was looking around this classroom. You see you, it's just me and you. Me and you, what? Just, did the little thing. Look at you and look at me. It's only me and you that look like this in here. And basically the talk about, the conditioning of you can't act this way, or they're going to start to treat you a certain way, kind of thing. Like, you can't show out in my class every day. You got to sit, you got to listen. And when it's time, for us to play, then we'll play. But when it's not, you can't do this. And had the conversation with my mama too, whatever. Not to say that granted, it did not stop any cutting up on my behalf. But it definitely brought some shit into perspective. Like, oh, if anything, I might have cut up more. Like, fuck these white people. I'm gonna say so, but so that might have been my first "you are black" here. Because I guess I hadn't thought about it. I didn't have a reason to think about it until then. And so then my first encounter may have been the whole light skin, dark skin thing, probably. So I was blessed enough, to be perfectly honest, not to have to, not to be the little girl who went through that the same degree that everybody else did. Because not so much now, she's a little brown, but my mama used to be yellow, right? And I think that she knew it. She knew it, was aware of it. And so I think that she had a chocolate baby and was like, I got to make sure that shit that happened to the other chocolate girls when we was growing up doesn't happen to her. And so I had no awareness of the light skin, dark skin thing. She would go above and beyond to be like, look at, ooh, girl, yes, I get dressed, put my fucking church dress on, and I'd be looking like a fucking walking wet Tootsie Roll. And she would just be like, your skin, just the gas early on. You so good at chocolate. Baby? I was chocolate. Yeah, I've been this color. My mom was maybe 3 or 4 shades lighter than me. Okay. Maybe even 4 to 5 shades lighter than me when we were younger. And so, she just kind of, it was almost inside of my home that it was your skin is something's even more special. Granted, she might have caused some secondhand damage to my sister, who was also of the yellow, and she thought was damn, bitch, you going hard, because bitch, what's my skin doing? And I feel like my mom probably had no, really though, because I think she had the mindset that you're gonna get it. When you go out into the world, you're gonna get it, so you don't need the extra, and so she didn't give it. I think it may have done some shit over there fucking with Belle later on. Bitch, all you do is gas this black ass bitch all day. So
I'm thrown by this, and I don't want to negate your experience, but you're not very dark.
No, well, I was, again,
in context.
In context, I'm not. And so it's not the, you're this
you said
conversation.
A bro, and I'm like, Who the wet Tootsie?
Me too, Tootsie Roll. You have to think too that things are different. When you're a fucking kid, I'm not outside half as much now as you are when you were fucking 7 and all you are is outside and burnt and chocolate and patchy.
Into the sun, you get red.
No, I start red, baby. And now, as a grown woman, I know my shit. I start red and I know what it look like. I get that little copper shine. I come on in. That's it for me today. But bitch, if I stay, not only do I get, it don't even just get black. It don't even be no even kid. I start getting patchy. It start looking like, bitch, is she on some shit? It start getting black in different areas. It don't be even. I know my threshold. So now what you see is what I know. What I've conditioned myself to know, like, oh, you guys, my time is here. But baby, as a little kid, you be out there like start looking dirty. My complexion start looking dirty. It start looking like scrub her off. And she been that's what it started looking like. But anyway, so I didn't know that. And so when I got here, got to elementary school, and they would be going in with your black ass and blah, 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 whatever the jokes were. It was like I wasn't that girl. And I would see, I could see the girls that would feel like that would shy away or cower or be quiet and be like, I already know. Or, try to do the thing that wishing I've never in my life wished I was lighter. Ever. Like ever. And I literally attribute it all to my mom. Not to say that I wouldn't, but I've never been like, I wish I was lighter skinned. Weirdly enough, I used to wish I was hairy. Whole different thing. But yeah, I don't know. But yeah. That was probably my first encounters of realizing, oh yeah, like these niggas. This is gonna be a thing.
So both of your encounters actually were preempted by like black people.
Black people. I hadn't had a white encounter. I got in a fight with a white girl one time. I got beat up too. Damn, ain't some shit. That probably started my She was bigger. In my defense, she was like what was I in? Probably like 3rd grade. She was a 5th grader, and I'll never forget she was a bully. And I was like, "Bruh,
make me fucking racist. If black people could be racist, shit would turn me. I would not come out."
She was big. And I remember she used to be talking shit, just bullying one of them big old fucking white girls, don't wear no shoes and shit on the playground, be dirty. And I was like, she used to be a bully. And she used to be like pushing kids, never meet her. And I was like, yeah, she's pushed my friends. I was like, I'm gonna whoop her ass. And I was like, you're a bully. What's her name? Caitlin? Bitch, you're a bully, Caitlin. And so I remember squaring up with Caitlin. I was gonna fight her ass. And I 3rd grade, y'all, was the smallest thing you've ever seen. And I remember Caitlin grabbing my shirt and like slinging me, bitch. Like just slung my ass. And I was like, I'm gonna have to fight this big bitch. I went in on Caitlin ass though. But I say I lost, she had one too many. I went in on her head. She ain't fight me no more. She ain't fight nobody else. So I whipped her ass enough for her to stop, but not enough for me to feel completely champion. Like she probably was like, oh damn, I think she was gonna give me all that. I was on Caitlin's head, bitch. Like a fucking squirrel.
I don't like that at all.
Yeah, I did.
I don't like that at all. Bitch. Okay, but so that was okay. Can you think? Okay, so that was both of those encounters were preempted or brought on by black people. Where would you say you are now, based on where I gave? Would you say? I think we're beyond. And again, it's a cycle, so it's not like something that you're always in. Because depending on where you are, you might not be in a place where racial salience is important to you, right? Like I'm in a black city. I rarely see white people. Like even when I lived in Birmingham, rarely saw white people. Mm-hmm. And so it was like only in a work environment. And now that I work from home, I'm only seeing the people like that go to the stores around me. And again, very rarely white people. So it's not racial salience. It's not something that's big because I don't have the encounter with the other. I'm only seeing black people. So where would you say you are? Pre-encounter, encounter, immersion, or immersion, right? So where you're immersing yourself or you're coming out of the immersion. And the last step is internalization / commitment.
To be honest, that's not even like a consistent thing. I can be in either of those places given any situation. I'm definitely not in that. Whatever we described as the I can't do nothing if it's gonna be white folks there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, Yeah, I'm not there. I will say, though, depending on what it is and what it's for, I don't necessarily have a desire to be in like all white rooms. Like it's almost one of those things to where, you know, the same way in which I wouldn't, I don't know, you know, want to go to a I don't know, a fucking dirt digging class or some shit. I don't know. It's just some shit I'm not interested in. You know what I mean? It's almost just like, what for what? With who for what? So for business purposes, for sure, I can carry myself, you know, amongst the room without code switching, without, you know, floating and feeling the need to modify my blackness in a room full of white. I will say that I've arrived there. Whatever that is, I can actively be myself. And to where my point is that it probably was a time where I would make some changes or make some adjustments to, you know, make sure that I'm not too black in the room. But I can be, you know, I can be exactly what I am in a room full of white people. But again, do I feel the need to be in those spaces? I'm not ever required to be. No. Am I of the mind? There are some people of the mind that like surround yourself with white people so you can be successful. Out of that mind.
Those people got a problem.
Those people, they do though, but you know that they exist.
Oh yeah.
So those I don't know. I'm on the other side, I guess.
I was gonna say those
I can
people
appreciate other cultures too.
Yeah, they're not anywhere near the theory of Nigrescence. I would say they are in pre-encounter. Those people say you gotta immerse yourself in white people. You know what I mean? Like something is wrong with you.
Yeah. You know what my encounter was? I had
about self-hate.
I had a hard time learning about Emmett Till. That probably was one of my encounters. I know you mentioned like the George Floyds or whatever, and those were all. I think my very first like encounter myself was the Gen 6. I remember that being like my first, you know, thing where we got to, you know, the marching and stuff. But I remember learning it. That shit sat with me. It actually sent me back. I was like, well, I need to run that bitch back. I need to prepare ass. But that sat with me for a while. Like learning that, you know, because you all go through whatever and you learn it and yeah, it was that coupled with I remember the first time you remember the first time you saw Roots? How old were you? And have you ever seen it start to finish?
So saw clips of it because it was playing in the house when I was younger, like when I was much younger, right? But then watched it as an adult right before the new Roots came out. But still have not sat and watched the whole fucking shit. No.
I've watched the whole Roots start to finish by hand of my father who made us watch it. Like he made us watch it like as a family thing every night for fucking better part of a week is how long it takes to watch Roots. I think like 4 days, 3 or 4 days, and watched it. And it met if you can, it shit it matters. I was young too. He was like, "We gonna watch it the same way when it came out because when it came out for them, came out on, you know, public television and as a 3-part series." And he was like, "Some shit shifted, some shit shifted." So people was pissed off. But yeah, I remember those two things, and I learned about them simultaneously. I watched Roots, and then I went on like a spiral. I probably was like 11, 12 years old. And then I found out about Emmett Till, and I was like, I was in the space for a while. I probably stayed there for a long time. And then, yeah, I'm cool now. I'm actually in a space now where what do you call it? The immersion is kind of starting to bother me because I'm in the space of what we got to do. Like, what are we going to do about it? Everybody's like, you know, because what's next? What are we going to do about it? We got to start an army and do the shit that need to be done? Or if not, are we all moving? Are we all about to leave and do the return to Ghana or return to Africa at some point? Because if not, I'm almost tired of hearing about it, to be honest. So.
You know, so I think that's important. I didn't share my first encounter. The first encounter I remember very vividly is when we moved away from the west side of Atlanta to Cobb County, which is basically like the suburbs. And I had never gone to school with white people before that. So this is probably this is either second or third grade when I saw a white person with my real eyes for the first time.
Wow.
And I was just like disgusted. I didn't understand little kids, little white kids in particular. Some of them have skin that is almost like see-through. And you can see like they whole fucking patchwork system. I was like, ew. Like I remember going home telling my mom, like, and you can see through their skin.
You can
I
see
don't
veins
like
and everything.
like it's like they look kind of patchy. It'd be kids that grow up to be olive. And I just be like, ew, what's wrong with your skin? But I remember very vividly, like the teacher would say, if you got an answer to the question, raise your hand quietly and I'll call on you. We're not doing the ooh, 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 I know. And so little Brad, little Zach, little Tyler would, ooh, I know. And she would call on them all the time. And I would just raise my hand quietly and she wouldn't fucking call on me. And they would get the answers wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, he doesn't even fucking know. Do you not see me here?
Yeah, racist
Right?
teachers were
Like,
something
the
special.
teacher never calls on me. Like, I would go home and cry. Like, the teacher never calls on me, and I have the answer, and she says, don't do this. The ooh. So I don't, but she never calls on me. So that had to come up at the parent-teacher conference because I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
am I fucking invisible here, Susan? But so that was like one of the first things. But I think then it would be like, you know, being in high school, being the only kid, the only like one of the only black girls in like the honors or AP classes. And be like, hey, where's everybody else? Well, why y'all aren't here? But I think outside of that, I've always just kind of, that pre-encounter phase has never existed. That race neutrality, that's never been a thing. But I just think it's important for people to recognize, number one, where certain people are. I think some of you have maybe come out of your blackness. You left an HBCU and you've immersed yourself in your upper middle class life, and you got, you live in your nice gated subdivision, and you got these very upper middle class problems. And maybe you're in the pre-encounter phase, and you're reminded the moment someone reports you for playing your music too loud as you come into the neighborhood, like, oh, I'm black, right? But it's important to recognize in conversation where certain people are, because you might have this all black politic, this all black agenda, and you're trying to get the person to be on the same page with you and black over everything. And they might be like, that's not real, particularly for young people, Gen Z and Gen Alpha. You have to recognize that they are in pre-encounter. They have not had a moment where they could say, oh, this happened to me because I was black. And then allow people the grace to go through their Nigrescence, come in and out of it, as life unfolds for them. So I brought that up just to keep that in mind.
I'm interested to know the same parallel for white people.
Well,
in their experiences with knowing their privilege, their whiteness. You know what I mean?
Well, so it's difficult because whiteness is like the air that we breathe, right? And so it's almost like asking fish, do they know they're in water, right? Mm-hmm. And it's why, so that lack of encounter with the other, because I'm white, my norm is the norm. And so that is where all the privilege comes in, because I'm like, everyone has this lived experience. I talk to so many adults who don't even recognize whiteness as a race for them. Or if I talk about like, what's the culture that you belong to, people say, well, is white culture or culture? I'm like, well, tell me some staples of white culture. To me, it sounds like, I don't know, raisins and potato salad. Y'all seem to really love the American flag. And then it starts to go into things that are tied with being American, because being white and being American are synonymous. And so when that's your identity, you probably, they won't have to do that until most of the time they have a black friend, right? Or they befriend somebody.
They love that child.
Well, yeah, but then they get to see like, oh, so it's not like, I just remember going to the store with my homegirl, and like she had something in her hand and she might have stuck that in her pocket to look for something. I said, hey, put your hands up. They're going to think you stealing. And she was like, what are you talking about? And I was like, I don't put my hands in my pockets when I'm in stores. If I have something in my hand, I am very clearly setting it on the shelf and then going in my pocket. I ain't never did that. Eat snacks, grab something off the shelf and eat it and pay for it. I ain't never did that, because
she can say, fuck off. I'm going to pay for this shit.
No one's even going to look at her. No one's going to look at her ass. You know what I mean? So it's like the idea of, I'm pretty sure their encounter or whatever theory they're coming into, whatever identity salience they're coming into, is very much so delayed because they don't have to encounter a other,
Yeah.
because they're just the norm. And what
That
a
that
life.
that analogy of knowing if you like the fish in water, like do fish know they're in water, and do white people know
Yeah, they don't have to think
that
about
they're
TV
white
as
is
much as
really
like,
crazy.
man, what does it feel like to see yourself on TV? Because shows are just shows. You don't have to have a black show or a black network. TV is just TV. Books are just books. Representation of what? We're all humans. Just a human in a book. You know what I mean? So that's also intolerable. I cannot.
It's
I
so
can't.
intolerable. Like even it's, oof, this shit is crazy. But yeah, I was interested to know that someone's developed like that for them, like their parallel of fucking oblivion. But anyway,
So something
yeah,
to think about. I think
please do.
this is a good place to wrap up. We
Yeah,
spent a lot
yeah,
of time, catching up in the beginning, and that's fine.
yeah.
But we hope that y'all have enjoyed rocking out with us. You know what I mean?
We
And
do,
thinking
you
about
know.
how fucking black you are and how black Diddy's soul is and all of that shit. You got any
Man.
parting thoughts for the folks before we close out?
Yeah, man. Get your life together. Check on your friends, your peers. Check on their blackness levels. See where they are with that. See where they are with their soul. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
Huh? How many people
And
are you
also,
looking at? Trust your gut with that. When you rolling up on people, I feel like Diddy has a darkness about him. What you think? I feel like that's not something that you just be shot by. If I feel like I don't want to stay in this, you ever go somewhere and you just like, I ain't gonna be here long. Check them feelings. Be in tune with that shit. As we come up on the end of this here year, be in tune with it. Get your
look at
shit
that.
straight. Bad boy. That's like that shit about to be a scam. Jordan Peele about to make that the new, the same way he did. I got 5 on it. That shit about to be like bad boy.
Like, he's not well.
Come out and play.
Well, you're not fooling me. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Thank y'all so much for listening. We'll be back next week with another episode, and we out.
Bye.
Okay. Now what do we do?